Fans seem to like everything coming out of the mouth in the game of Renato Moicano. Money Moicano can flow over Drew Dober by unanimous decision. And there's a lot to unpack with someone like you with all your fucking stripes on your Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, right? But somebody like Drew Dober, one of the most decorated knockout artists in UFC lightweight history, but he had to be expectant, and Elliot Marshall in his corner, that it might be this type of fight where he was going to have to execute hip escapes and getting off from his back and out from underneath Renato Moicano. He was unable to do so most of the night. And despite a lot of violence and blood intertwined within this fight, that was the story of the fight for me. Moicano just on a totally different level on the ground than Drew Dober.
Yeah, I think more than anything else was kind of the lack of MMA IQ on the part of Drew Dober. And I mean that respectfully because he's such a dangerous fighter, but I think that he wasn't making the proper adjustments in that fight. He had Moicano hurt in round one. You know, I picked Moicano. I thought he'd be able to take him to the ground and control him there, and it ended up working okay for me. However, I was extremely nervous the first few minutes of that fight versus Drew Dober because he was landing a lot of heavy shots. But when it came to his ground defense, fighting off of his back, not only was he not able to get back to his feet, but I also think there was a lack of efficiency there, which really hurt him late in that fight. He was expending a tremendous amount of energy, not only because maybe he was lacking some of that efficiency himself in his technique, but also Moicano fought brilliantly. He allowed Drew Dober to carry his weight very well. And because of that, he was spending a lot of energy pushing him off. He was putting a lot of weight very intelligently onto the arms or frames of Drew Dober. So Drew Dober was constantly bench pressing, probably for the last 2 minutes of round one, which is going to tire you out, which is going to take away your power, which is going to take away your conditioning, which is going to take away your reaction time. So that fight, although it was by decision by Moicano, was won in round one, in my opinion. A lot of things went wrong for Moicano in that fight, but his ability to switch it back over into his realm on the ground and tire out his opponent, I thought was brilliant.